Some of the strongest people you'll ever meet don't look strong. At all, some of the strongest people you'll ever meet don't look strong at all. They don't tell stories about their pain. They don't ask for sympathy. They simply keep moving forward. And most people never realize how many battles they've fought just to become who they are today. We often think pain always leaves a mark, a scar, a wound, something visible. But psychology tells us something very different. The deepest wounds are often completely invisible. In fact, the people who have survived the most are often the calmest, the quietest, and the most composed people in the room. Today, we're uncovering 9 psychological signs that someone has survived far more than people realize. Sign 1. You protect your peace more than you used to. There was a time when you responded to every argument. You tried to correct every misunderstanding. You fought to save every relationship. But then life taught you something important. Now you don't fight every battle. You don't explain yourself to everyone. You don't waste energy trying to convince people who have already decided not to understand you. Because you've learned how valuable your peace really is. You understand that your energy is precious, and you refuse to give it away carelessly. This isn't coldness. This is wisdom earned through experience. Because life has taught you that not every battle deserves your attention. And sometimes, silence is the most powerful answer you can give. Sign 2. You trust people. Slowly, there was a time when you trusted people easily. You believed what they said. You assumed their intentions were genuine. But repeated disappointments changed something inside you. Betrayal changed you. Broken trust changed you. Now you don't trust quickly. You watch. You listen. You pay attention to actions more than words. You take your time. Some people may see this as distance. Some may mistake it for coldness, but it isn't. It's self-protection, because you've learned that not everyone deserves access to who you truly are. And that's not weakness. That's wisdom. Sign 3. You stay surprisingly calm. During crisis, when everyone else is panicking, you become quiet. When everything starts falling apart, you focus on what needs to be done next. People often wonder how you stay so calm under pressure. The answer is simple. You've already survived situations that once felt impossible. You've already faced storms that changed you. You know panic doesn't solve problems. You know every storm eventually passes. This calmness wasn't something you were born with. It was built through hardship, because real resilience is developed in difficult moments, not comfortable ones. Sign 4. You rarely talk about what hurt you most. People assume that those who have suffered deeply talk about it constantly. But reality is often the opposite. The deepest wounds are usually the quietest. You stopped telling your story, not because you forgot, but because explaining it became exhausting. You realized not everyone knows what to do with your pain. Not everyone can understand it. So now you simply smile. You change the subject. You say, "I'm fine," and you move on. But inside you carry stories that most people will never know. Stories that helped shape the person you've become. Sign 5. You notice other people's pain. Instantly, you notice the sadness hidden behind someone's smile. You hear the pain hiding inside someone's voice. You sense when something isn't right, even when nobody says a word, because you've been there yourself. You've walked through those emotions. You've felt that loneliness, that disappointment, that grief. Psychology shows that people who have experienced deep pain often develop stronger emotional awareness. Your struggles made you more compassionate. Your pain made you more understanding. And that's one of the most beautiful things hardship can leave behind. Sign 6. You stopped running. From discomfort, most people try to escape painful emotions. They distract themselves. They stay busy. They avoid what they feel. But somewhere along the way, you learned something different. You learned that not every feeling needs to be escaped. Sometimes it needs to be faced. You learned that sadness doesn't last forever. Fear doesn't last forever. Difficult moments don't last forever. So instead of fighting your emotions, you learned to sit with them, to understand them, to move through them. And that's what real strength looks like. Sign 7. Your mind constantly scans for problems before they happen. A delayed text message, a sudden change in someone's tone, a canceled plan, a strange look. Most people wouldn't think much about it, but your mind notices immediately. Because you've been caught off guard before, you've been hurt before, so your brain learned to stay alert. It tries to identify danger before danger arrives. This isn't weakness, it's a survival response, a protective system created by past experiences. Your mind learned to stay ready because life once gave it reasons to. Sign 8. You value real connections more than popularity. At some point, your priorities changed. You stopped caring about being liked by everyone. You stopped chasing attention. You stopped needing approval from the crowd. Now you'd rather have a few genuine people than hundreds of shallow connections. You'd rather be understood than admired. You'd rather have honesty than popularity. Because life taught you an important lesson. When things get difficult, crowds disappear. But real people stay. And that's why genuine connection matters more to you than ever before. Sign 9. You see strength in others. More easily than in yourself, you encourage people. You remind them how strong they are. You help them see how far they've come. You believe in them, sometimes more than they believe in themselves. But when it comes to your own life, you're much harder on yourself. You focus on your wounds instead of your victories. You focus on your struggles instead of your courage. You see your survival as ordinary, but it isn't. Because what feels ordinary to you would look extraordinary to someone else. The strength you recognize in other people exists inside you too. You simply don't see it because you've been carrying it for so long. Final truth. Maybe true strength isn't loud. Maybe true strength isn't about appearing fearless. Maybe true strength belongs to the people who kept going when nobody was watching. The people who got up every day, despite having every reason not to. The people who carried invisible burdens and still moved forward. The people who survived quietly. If you recognized yourself in these signs, remember this: your resilience is real, even if it doesn't feel impressive. Because strength doesn't always look powerful. Sometimes strength simply looks like someone who refused to give up. Someone who kept moving forward, quietly, consistently, no matter what life put in front of them. And that may be the strongest thing of all.